Two cities born from the same soil but destined for radically different fates. As Plato once observed, Sparta and Athens, our two mother states, are as opposite as the colors of war and peace. One a regime for war, the other for peaceable arts. To understand these ancient rivals, we first must understand the remarkable land that produced them. The Peloponnese, a near island connected to the mainland by a slender bridge, has been associated with viticulture since antiquity.
Peloponnese is on the south part of Greece. Peloponnese is almost an island. This is a very big piece of land that is connected to the mainland of Greece with just one tiny bridge, so it's basically a peninsula.
Homer himself celebrated these vines, writing, "The Peloponnese, rich in vines, where heavy clusters hang down from sun-worn slopes."
Peloponnese is a very intriguing place to grow grapes, and it is a region that is covered pretty much 70 to 80% by mountains. And that for us is a very big advantage, as it allows us to grow grapes in different altitudes and then battling the heat.
Greece is a very small country. What happened in Greece is that the scale of everything in Greece are small. Our winery is in north part of Peloponnese, where the altitude is around 500 meters. On the north side there is a mountain which is 2,500 meters altitude. It's snow for 5-6 months a year. At the same time, if you go on the east side, you can see the sea.
The main soil in our vineyards, it's clay rocky with small crushed rockies on the top. But just after 40 to 55 centimeters, there is a deep calcareous deep soil, which provides, especially to the white wines, this distinctive minerality on the nose and on the palate.
From this extraordinary terroir, two very different civilizations emerged, their contrasting approaches to wine reflecting fundamentally their values and ultimately their fate. In Athens, wine became central to the symposium, a ritualized drinking party that served as the cornerstone of intellectual and political life.
At the antiquity, the wine should be consumed in moderation. That's why usually they mixed with water, because all this symposium used to keep for many hours, and they want to keep the brain very clear to participate in these high-level conversations.
The crater, a large vessel used for mixing wine, stood at the center of these gatherings, symbolizing the balance between intoxication and sobriety that characterized the Athenians. As the Greek writer Athenaeus observed, the Athenians are fond of the symposium, where they combine the pleasures of wine with the pleasures of discussion. For their gatherings, wine brings forth words of wisdom. The culture of balanced wine consumption reflected Athens' broader values: an appreciation for pleasure tempered by moderation, a belief in social cohesion, and the recognition that free exchange of ideas required both stimulation and restraint. In contrast to Athens, Spartan society was dominated by military objectives and strict discipline.
Sparta was the more military way of thinking, and their civilization was built in the power of man and the healthiness of man. Women, they're important, but they were just only to support the healthy living of the fighters, which were the Spartan guys.
According to Plutarch, the Spartans would sometimes force their helot slaves to drink large quantities of wine. They would then bring them into the dining halls to show their young warriors what excess looks like, designed to instill in them a disgust for such excess. While Spartans occasionally did consume wine during their communal dining practices, their approach lacked the celebratory and intellectual dimension found in Athens. The Spartan custom was not to drink to excess or to make toasts, for they felt that such practices led to drunkenness and physical weakness. This controlled approach to wine consumption aligned with Sparta's broad societal rigidity, the same inflexibility that made their warriors formidable on the battlefield. As Xenophon said, "The young men of Sparta are not allowed wine at all, so they may not have cause for insolence or riotous conduct." Today's winemakers in the Peloponnese continue to work with indigenous grape varieties that have ancient roots in the region.
The main grapes that are really important for our winemaking are two. One of them is ideologies, which means St. George, and it's a red grape that is grown in the appellation of Nemea, the most important appellation for red wine in Greece. And the second very important grape that we grow here is called Moscofilero. And Moscofilero is what we call a gray variety, which means it's not white and it's not red. It's something in between, has a little bit of color, so we're able to make rosé wines.
The main grape variety in our region and also at Danos winery is Roditis. Roditis is a pink-skinned grape variety which provides white wines. We have also Lagorthi, which is a very local white grape variety.
These indigenous grape varieties adapted over centuries to the specific conditions of the Peloponnese. They connect modern winemaking to the traditions that influenced Athenian and Spartan wine cultures. Sparta's austere approach to wine consumption contributed significantly to its military effectiveness. By limiting indulgence and emphasizing discipline, Sparta created warriors that were renowned throughout the ancient world. Their stand at Thermopylae, where 300 warriors held off the entire Persian army, cemented their reputation as the ancient world's premier fighting force. Their victory in the Peloponnesian War demonstrated the effectiveness of the more disciplined society over the more open Athenian system. For a brief period, Sparta enjoyed dominance over all of Greece, but this success would prove fleeting. Over time, Sparta's population declined dramatically, partially due to their rigid social system. The inability to change their military tactics eroded their battlefield advantages. While Sparta's military discipline brought short-term success, Athens' wine-centered intellectual culture brought achievements in art, drama, philosophy, and governance.
Everybody knows that democracy has been established in Athens. All the West civilization has been in the ideas of democracy, of Sophocles, of Plato, of Aristotle in the ancient Greece. And that this is a huge power exists in Greece.
Sparta produced few notable thinkers or artists. Their societal emphasis on the military came at the expense of cultural development. The contrasting approaches to wine in Athens and Sparta offers a compelling metaphor for the broader cultural differences and ultimate historical trajectories. In the vineyards of the modern Peloponnese, where ancient varieties continue to thrive, in a landscape shaped by both natural forces and human history, we can still taste the echoes of these contrasting approaches.